Okay, so the day has come for us to install our lift kit on our 2014 JKU. We've purchased a 4-inch Skyjacker lift, and after looking at a couple of videos, reading instructions, we're about to get together and tackle this project ourselves. If you have a lift and you're able to use it, use it. You don't really need one, but it definitely helps. First thing we do is we're going to take a measure and measure both front of the vehicle, front and rear, and we're going to measure the distance between the fender and the tire. We're going to write all those measurements down on a piece of paper. We also have some measurements that Skyjacker has provided for us. We're going to record all those measurements so later when we put the truck back down with the lift on it, we can see what moved, keep everything straight. If you have air, use it. But if not, remove all 4 tires from off the vehicle. After removing all 4 tires, jack the vehicle up, make sure everything's locked and supported so we can begin the removal of the components that is suggested in Skyjacker information. Next thing we've done is, if you look and see, we've taken a paint stick and we've marked our drive shaft so that if we have to remove our drive shaft, we'll know exactly where it goes back and what position it is. It's not really necessary to do that, but it really helps. Also, we've marked our rear in GPD. As per our instructions, we'll be removing the front track bar, then we'll be removing our brake lines, then we'll be removing our front differential drive shaft, then we'll be removing our shocks, and then we'll be lowering our front axle, removing our springs, then reinstalling the new springs after we drill for the bump stops, and then reverse order for the front. So now we have everything tore apart, and it's time to start adding some new parts. We're going to go ahead and put the springs in. As you can see, the front springs, how much difference they are in them. So we have jacks supporting the vehicle. So we're going to start to install our springs. If you notice, one end is large, one end is small. This end goes to the top, this end goes to the bottom. So at this point in time, we're going to start repeating the process. We're going to go ahead and take our bump stops. We're going to install them, and we're going to pre-fit them by putting the spring in, and then we'll center them, tap the hole, put our bolt, and then we'll start our process of putting everything back together. All right. All right, at this point, track bar is on, hadn't been adjusted. We'll adjust it after we lower the vehicle and measure side to side. Springs are on, new shocks is on. Our brake bar connects are gonna come off of the rear. We'll take the rear and put it on the front, and take the new ones and put them on the rear after we do the rear. So we'll leave everything just the way it is right now until we are capable of lowering it and installing the cam bolts inside the lower control arms. Oh, I forgot one other thing here. It is time to install the stickers on the front shocks. So you hold that one. Let's put the cool stickers on. All right, so at this point, we're gonna move to the rear and start the rear. All right, we're almost finished with the Jeep lift, and we got to put the cam bolts in. Right here is 2 slotted bolts in the boat, right here and right here. We're going to take this bolt out, and we're going to longigate this hole forward so that when we pivot the pumpkin up of the front differential, it changes the way the angle of the drive angle is, so you have an adjustment for vibration. When you raise the truck up, you have to change the pitch of the front differential in order for it to not have a vibration in the drive shaft. So anytime you go with a 3.5, I think, or more lift, you're going to have to do these cam bolt install. So we have the cam bolts. I'm going to go ahead and remove this bolt, drop this control arm, and we'll cut that. So now we're gonna jack the lift up. I'll jack this side up. The rear end up. And this is gonna relieve the pressure off of this so we can remove that bolt. All right, that's got the pressure off of it. Kind of bump it out. Get the punch, and we'll punch this on out. Pull this down. So what we're going to do, we're going to longigate that bolt just to where that washer was on each side, on this side and this side over here. We're going to take it, and that would allow that rear end to come up, which will bring the differential pivot up so we can increase our drive line. You don't have to have what I'm using, but it helps. This is just a simple air saw with a blade, and we're going to take it and slice it here, and then at a 45 up on both sides. So I'll do this one, and then we'll cut the camera off, and I'll do this and we'll come back. Alright, that's got both ends of that cut out. Now, grab my little grinder. Now, this is what I use to smooth everything out and get everything back flat again. Now we take this. And that's the way it's supposed to look right here. So this is longigated, so when we install our cam bolts. So what we're going to do, I'm going to cut the other side and install the cam bolts, and we'll come back. Alright, now we have the cam bolts installed in both front. We got the washers in. The cam bolts are actually 2 washers that's been longigated, and 2 washers that are oval in shape and size. Washers look like this, and the bolt has a flat spot on it so that when you turn, the cams actually cam and push up against either side of those tabs inside the boat. So what we do is we stick the washer up, make sure it's inside the flat spots on that. See, find the nut.
Got that forward, so that's where it go.
So now that we have them both in, we're gonna run it up snug, not tighten it. We just getting the washers grooved inside to where we put the wheels back on. We'll let the vehicle down on its own weight, and then we'll tighten them up, and we'll take another measurement off of our pitman. What I've done is I got a protractor, and I measured on the flat surface of my pinion, and I got a measurement, pre-measurement before I did it, and I'll take a measurement afterwards. Once we get the back done, we'll put the wheels back on, we'll lace these down, then we'll tighten them up, and then we'll come back. All right, now that we've install the rear cam bolts, put the wheels back on, we've gone and let the vehicle down, and we preset our drive angles, tightened up our cam bolts front and rear. And if you look inside here, I had to remove the bump stop in order to access this cam bolt, and I'll take it out of the old one. So now at this time I'm going to grease that fitting that was provided for those cam bolts, and then we'll put our, I think this is just a fitting to get some grease inside this joint. I looked at the cam bolts, and the ones that they provided had a hole through them that actually allows me to grease them. Imagine that. Good people at Skyjacker. There we go, some grease popping out of the hole. Go to the front and grease the front. I like the grease fittings. Anybody that's in water likes grease fittings. These things will be in water. All right, we got grease all the way around. Now, we'll reinstall our rear bump stops. Uh-oh, droppable. There we go. Now, one of the things I probably will be doing is I'm going to paint all these boats. Give me a washer. Put me a little bit of paint on everything. Slow the rust down. These small wheels look like bad leg day. Install the other one. One of the things I did like about this Skyjacker lift was that brace that goes in the back. The nice people at Skyjacker provided us with a brace that goes across the back here. Just extra comfort knowing that I got some bracing going on. There we go. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to tighten these up. I'll let the vehicle back down. I'll get back with you out after that. So we'll let it back down. Okay, here we are. We're about to finish up with the lift. We've got the wheels back on, got the center caps back on. We've made sure the center is on the track bar. It's got the Jeep level with the nut tightened up, torque. got the front torsion bar links on. We're gonna let the Jeep down now. We've already tightened the cam bolts. We greased the cam bolts. So we're coming down. All right. Well, the first thing we tell, we can see a big difference in the clearance in the fender well. Wheel well has got a lot more clearance here than what we had. So I'll get a tape measure and take my measurements from right here, and then I'll measure right here to the center of the wheel. I have the wheels actually marked on both sides, front and rear. We'll take some measurements. So I'm going to pull it off here, and there's one thing I want to show you in closing. I made sure all 4 wheels were marked. I checked the toe in and toe out. None of that has changed. All of that stayed the same since I hadn't done anything but just removed the wheels. I didn't affect the toe on it. The caster and camber's off. The camber is had to put a little bit positive caster in it so that, you know, I can get the drive line angles. I think I put like a 1.5 degree angle more than what it was prior at the measurement. I took a simple protractor and found a flat surface on it, and it tells you the angle. I think I was at 6, now I'm like 7. So I'm really just like 1 degree more caster than what I had. We're going to drive it, make sure there's no vibration. If it is, I'll twist those cams up and put a little more positive. I don't want to put too much positive caster in it because that's what keeps the steering wheel coming back straight in your hand when you make a curve. So we're going to pull it forward, and I got one more measurement to check. I don't know if you can see it or not, but on the steering wheel, I put 2 pieces of tape before I done anything on the lift. I made sure where the center of my steering wheel was. So now we're gonna go down the road and see where the steering wheel is. I'm thinking that that's gonna be somewhere about right here, and I'm gonna have to add some to my link just by spinning that one link, and that will straighten my steering wheel up without affecting my toe. Now, one of the things I do want to say at the end of this install is I'm not an expert. This is my first Jeep. This is my first lift. I'm a mechanic by trade, so it's not challenging to me to do what I had to do. It just, I got the stuff to do it with. It's pretty easy. Work at your own risk, be safe, use the proper parts, follow the right instructions. Pretty simple process. Make sure all your measurements line up afterwards, and any doubt, carry it to a front end shop, have them recorrect everything for you and double check you. If you're going with bigger tires like I am, it's something I'm gonna be doing anyway. So even though I did it, I'm still gonna let them do it as well. So that kind of includes the lift install. You can see it's definitely up higher than what it was. I want to thank Skyjacker for selling me this lift. They not promoting this video or anything. This is completely mine. Marianne and Jed's Jeep. We're not sponsored by nobody. We're just doing our own build. Appreciate you watching our videos. We're going to go over kind of a to list of some of the things we do. God bless. We sure do thank you watching our video and our Jeep build. Just kind of want to go over a couple of tools that we used out of our tools that we did do this job with. I can't say enough about looking at the instructions. Skyjacker provided ample amount of instructions for us to be able to install this, being that we've never installed a lift before on a Jeep. I made my own measurements, and everything lines up with the exception of the height in the front and rear. All the other measurements line up with it, and everything is correct except the bumper height, front and rear. So all that's good. I used a level to make sure that the vehicle was center. I used a protractor to make sure my drive angles were correct. You can see how to use that on plenty of videos. Tape measure to measure toe in, toe out. Drill, of course everybody knows the drill. Air wrenches, a torque wrench to make sure that everything torques back into specs according to the instructions. A little air saw that I picked up from Harbor Freight, inexpensive. I think it's like 14 bucks to make those cuts. One of the other things that we did do was our grinder here. You can also at Harbor Freight pick up these little grinders things here. Here's like a pack of 5 of them. Like $5, and they fit into my grinder to help me finish those cam cuts. Pry bars, air ratchets, air wrenches. The help of a real good friend, Dennis Weaver. We thank you very much. And Michelle Weaver. We appreciate y'all's help in installing this. Set of drill bits to drill everything out with and make sure everything's the right size of what everybody else is using. Oh no, can't angle no nothing. And there we go. I can't say enough about these torque sticks too. When you're putting wheels back on, if you don't want warp rotors, use these torque sticks. I'm a strong believer in those. I like to thank the help of my wife. This is my wife, Mary Ann.
Hey.
So our dog is named Jed. We appreciate you watching our video. Thank you so much for being with us. We're going to go ahead and get all this cleaned up. Going to drive the Jeep down the road a little bit. It's kind of hot and muggy weather.
I think we should get ice cream myself.
Maybe go get us ice cream soon. Y'all have a nice day.
Happy Jeeping!
And Skyjacker Lift, we appreciate you. All right, I get you to put this in the back of the Jeep.
We're in the little
raise,
hole.
yeah, in the hole. What, at the edge of the hole? In the hole. In the hole. All right. Cleaned up. Everything good and clean. That box. D-box. What about D-box? Come on, Jed. Huh?
Would you put that note on the Jeep? Right the door.
I'm in town now. I forget who I am.
No, I didn't know how forgetful you are.
This is there for you.
Hey! Put Jed in the box. Come here, Jed. Come here. Come here in the box. Lay down. Lay the box.
Lay down in the box.
Lay the box. Oh, that's just a sweet boy.
Come on, boy. What you doing? 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 Is that fun?
Hot and sweaty.
Georgia weather's hot. Always hot in Georgia. I gotta go take a shower now. I done had to change shirts. Make sure this thing ain't on. Oh crap.